flip that over.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to open on ball sack.
Welcome back to Cuyahoga Sound Podcast. I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
Today, we're sitting down with Ryan Hodson.
How you guys
also
doing?
known as Space Gorilla.
Yeah.
Broccoli Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you come up with the nicknames?
Well, you know, the Bruce nickname came from, like, back when I was, like, 16 or 17. I was working at a record store, and one of the guys I'm working with just called me Bruce. And I fucking hated it. So, you know, the second, they found the chink in the armor, so they really just started, going at it, calling me Bruce all the time. And I was like, dude, it just snowballed.
It took me about 6 to 8 months of knowing you to figure out your real name wasn't Bruce.
Oh, yeah. When I finally came out and was like, hey, my name's Ryan, people were like, what the? This went on for years.
Cool. So, Space Gorilla is your new music right now, the solo music. You do that all on your own?
On my own, yeah. So I got, before I even started with Broccoli Samurai, I kind of all kicked off when I got a recording arts degree and started kind of putting little parts and pieces together in my own studio. And, when COVID kind of hit, I'm like, I got all of these ideas and just started kind of making music. Just kind of got back to the roots of doing it for myself and just put passion into it. It's like a passion project. And, the name actually came from, you can't one-up Broccoli Samurai. I mean, it was the best band name I think anybody's ever came up with. I got to give credits to Steve Fade and Chris Walker. We started the band. We kind of collectively came up with these little pieces and ideas, and then Steve Fade right at the end was like, "How about a Broccoli Samurai?" And we're like, "That's terrible." All right.
Never forget that. You could hear that once and never forget it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like the name Bruce. It's like how many guys? It's just like I hit all of the top points right there.
And it's funny you guys came back one time with a past lineup and called it Cauliflower Ninja.
Yeah, oh yeah. We did Cauliflower Ninja, and we also used to do Switched On, which is like this old take on I forget the artist's name. We take like pieces of Bach or like classical music and like do like these electronic Moog renditions of it, and it'd be like Switched On Bach or something. So like, kind of figured that's
cool.
Plus, it sounds fun.
Yeah. Nice. And you spent some time working at the Beachland Ballroom, right?
Spent 9 amazing years working there. I got that job actually. So I went and got the recording arts degree.
Where'd you go to school?
I was at Tri-C at the rap program down there, and I had an internship. So I went in, running sound, doing whatever I can for the venue, and the late great Ken Jansen, he used to book shows there. He's just like, "Hey man, we got a job for you." I'm like, "All right," I arrived. Like, I'm gonna start running sound in the tavern. They're like, "You're booking shows." I'm like, "The what?" I'm like, "All right, man." And, he taught me what he knew, and I just kind of ran with the rest between the owners, Mark Letty and Cindy Parber, and they held my hand through. They let me make a lot of mistakes, and we put on some amazing shows up there. Had a lot of fun.
Cool, yeah. I went to a lot of them. That's when I was bursting into the scene when you were booking there. That was my favorite venue to see new bands at. That really shaped my influence when we started writing music. So,
right on. Yeah, it was an era, man. It really was. It was that little resurgence of the jam music. I always think of like Fear and Loathing, when that you can see the wave crashing on the shore and it starts receding. Like we got to catch that wave, and like it was a really fun time, man. We a lot of fun times.
Wave's still going a little bit.
Oh yeah. They always come. It's the thing about the ocean. No matter when you think it crashes, one's right behind it.
Yeah. So as a booking guy, what do you wish that musicians knew?
Dude, tell the truth. Just like when you're in front of the judge, what are you gonna tell him? Like, I didn't do it, dude. We got this video of you, So I've been in that situation, unfortunately. But either way, be honest. Have a solid product. Have a good personality. I used to always tell new emerging artists, if you can get 5 people out to your show, I know that sounds like nobody, it's a lot of people when you're starting. I remember like with Broccoli Samurai's first show. I think it was like 10. We had 10 friends come out. Coworkers, family, whatever it was, and then the next show was maybe 20, and we just kind of started building. These small little numbers, and just like anything in life, if somebody believes in you, they're going to invest time in you. So, same thing. Just invest your time back in, the venue that you're looking to work with, and they'll work with you. I used to love that with local musicians, build a good like little repertoire, and that's it.
Yeah. It helped like keep the scene tight too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. We all became was it the Bubbies?
Cool. Can you tell us about for our listeners about Broccoli Samurai, what that was?
Oh man, what was that? That's like the existential question. What comes after life? I don't know, man. The band really just started with a couple of friends. It was me, Chris, and Steve that I alluded to earlier. We used to sit around, just kind of have fun, make music. We had a mutual friend that just came up to us one day and said, "Hey, you guys are playing a show at the Beachland Tavern." Actually, it was our first show, opening up for Zach Deputy. We had no clue who Zach Deputy was. We had no clue what our band name was going to be, and we had, jams in the key of as our songs, and we quickly came up with a band name, and we went off and running, and it started off like any other dream, just get out, have fun, play local, and I think with me having that job at the Beachland is a pretty good pivotal point too, because I'm also meeting a lot of these emerging artists from different cities, like Aqueous when they were coming in from Buffalo, or Pigeons playing ping pong, and so we kind of just do the old show swap. That's another very key thing for any emerging artist. Make friends with the other musicians, help each other out, support each other. That's really what it's a community. It's really what this it's why I love music so much. It's not only what we bring to people to come out and enjoy, it's the community that we build with inside of it. And, but yeah, so we just started, hitting the other bands up, and we go play out of town, have some fun, and build some fan base up in different cities. And all of a sudden, I'm trying to figure out how to buy a van and put a trailer on it, and merchandising and hiring people to make us get from point A to point B to point Z. And I'm super grateful for a lot of these experiences that we got to have. I mean, we played some incredible stages. We played with incredible artists, met amazing people, and when people always say, "What do you want?" I still get asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "Man, I already grew up like years ago. Like this is all just borrowed time now." I'm just still like they hitting the snooze button, like smiling.
You got out of it alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, not everyone does.
Yeah. I think those the awesome names you have, you started mentioning merch, and that just sounds like a rabbit hole to go down when you're Broccoli Samurai, when you're Space Gorilla. Like,
oh, you should have
coming
seen
up
some
with
of the
merch.
broccoli merch I had.
Yeah.
That's got to be a blast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some cool logos. Yeah.
That evolution of the broccoli into the sand, that was a brilliant little piece that I think Chris had come up with that one, if I remember right. I don't know, my memory does not serve me if I'm not remembering whoever came up with that idea. It was an amazing idea, but and Space Gorilla, they kind of when I was trying to come up with his name, I was out in Seattle with my brother. My brother had caught stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and we're talking back and forth. Me and my brother real close, he's real fucking out there too, and I'm like, something flamingo this or something that, and he's like, I'm like, something space something. He's like, dude, Space Gorilla, and I was like, dude, fuck yeah, right. See, I don't really come up with this shit. I just know the people to talk to.
Bounce the ideas off the right people.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
Set.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's different about Space Gorilla besides it being like no guitars, or do you play guitar and bass into it too? Is it all?
It's all in the box. It's all keyboard orientated. It's subtle. It's very relaxed. It's so I just recorded a full length album solo, which I've released a few songs since the creation of this project, and I took a look at my hard drive and I was like, holy shit, I got enough to be like 2 or 3 albums. So I kind of picked out what I wanted and wrote a couple other pieces along with it. And it kind of tells a story of my journey after Broccoli Samurai, getting sober, finding myself, getting lost, forgetting who I am, trying to remember who I am, and like these emotions that I forgot, like what they are, and love, and just the dealing with the death of my brother, and and then finding my path to the sun, which is the title of the album, which is after one of the songs of the album. It's finding my
Path to the Sun.
Path to the Sun, to enlightenment. And the song kind of came about with a girl that I was speaking to. Kind of just it all came together. It was just one of those perfect things, Sun came up.
Yeah.
Cool. What if we can just dive right in? What led to the choice of sobriety?
Well, it wasn't my choice. First it was, a lot of the law's choice. First, the city wanted to get me sober, and then the state was like, "Dude, you need to get sober." And I struggle with it,
And then the federal government.
Yeah, and then
Then the UN.
Yeah, I think I made it to the UN.
Then
list.
the gorillas came from
Yeah,
space.
I know, man.
Galactic Federation.
I had to change the name to Space. I owed too many people money, so I was like, if I change my name, that way.
Yeah.
But,
One step ahead of the law.
Yeah,
Way to live,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
The lawsuit from the gorillas. Yeah.
I had a couple stabs at trying to get sober. I went to a couple rehabs. It just took when the time was right. There's this beautiful word called surrender, where I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting older. I couldn't go on living that way, and luckily I was at the right place, the right time. Again, the clouds parted, there's the sun, and I just started listening to some people that knew what they were doing, took some directions, and luckily I've been sober for a little over 3 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
I made it 3 weeks one time. That's that inspiration.
Yeah, dude. I gotta say, man, one day was the hardest of them. Like in the first little stint of getting sober, it was tough. It was really tough. Like when my whole life at that point had been like focused around drinking or getting high, or it was just that party life. But I actually went to Webster's to figure out the definition of party, and it involves 2 or more people. And I realized I was partying by myself, so it really wasn't a party anymore. It's more like, yeah. So,
those opportunities are a lot more accessible in the musician's life. And to be honest, it's not hard. It's not hard to slip into it and let it take over. Sometimes, with it being right there, it feels good. You're playing music, feels good while you're playing music. Everything is great, and then before you know it, it's just all the time.
Yeah, it's. I always say, there's a, they say alcohol is like a social lubricant, man, because it is, man. But placed in my hands, it just became a self-destructive tool. And,
Yeah.
I don't miss that anymore, though. I really don't. Cool. I feel like, especially with this new album that I've been putting out, it's a lot of vocals. I don't sing, thank God. I mean, I try to sing, but there's a couple songs
I
where I
heard
do a
you
little.
singing on one of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of the tracks I put out. I did a little
What's
singing.
who's the Broken Keys? Is that a
Yeah,
rapper?
yeah, that's,
I really liked his verse.
Yeah. Tommy, cool. Yeah, he's Tommy Sheridan. Yeah, he's
Tommy Sheridan. All right.
And then I've also been cutting tracks with Rachel. God, I always mess up her last name. Maxim. God, she's gonna probably reach through this podcast and punch me in the face. What is wrong with you? She's done vocals on quite a few number of tracks, and she is just got this amazing voice. She's, I'll write some vocals, I give her the direction, and she sends something back that it just even goes to another level that I wasn't even foreseeing a song to be. And a lot of vocals.
How's the transition making music sober, like through that lens? I imagine you're hearing things differently. I know for me, like going on stage, like having a drink just kind of like puts me at ease.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's got to be something to go through, and being self-conscious about the music more. Like that's how I personally would feel.
So here's a funny little fact. First of all, the last rehab that I went to had a piano in it. All right, and I was like, I'm supposed to be here, right? And like after I had kind of like, gotten that fog out of me, and I'm starting to like eat food and talk, English again, and I go sit down behind the piano, and I was so nervous, and I really couldn't play, like I just didn't have the muscle memory was there, but I just still like wasn't fully all back together. I should say more mentally, and just like riding a bike, fell a couple more times, and all of a sudden I feel like I can play more coherently now than I ever could. I used to write. I remember getting on stage forgetting songs, like where's the change at? What key are we gonna get? But it's more coherent now, especially even songwriting. I feel like I can come up with an idea and feel that the energy a lot more clearly than I could before.
Yeah, you're recognizing things that you were blown by just in a fog before, basically.
Yeah. And we played a couple shows, like Broxham. We played one show last year for Halloween, and I was a little nervous, man. I get it, because I don't think I was more like calming my nerves versus like numbing everything else. But dude, it was amazing. I forgot that electric feel, like when you just get on stage and it's like it's better than sex. It's better than it's like goosebumps times like a infinity. Yeah. It's there. It's there.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I got Electric Feel by MGMT running through my head right now. That song is a jam, always will be, no matter what.
Indeed.
I hadn't played drums sober in a while. I hate to admit that, but I'd come home and crack open a beer and then come down and play drums like after I finished it. And I changed that up and just came home and played and didn't realize that I switched it up. And I was like, man, I'm playing really good today. And I'm like, I'm going to play some Rush and see how that goes. And I'm nailing Rush. I'm like, I'm hitting this like really crisp today. What the hell's going on? Oh, I didn't drink. All right. Well, that tells me something. I need to do this more often,
Even something as like easy to figure out, or something as obvious as like band practice sober, makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I think I always did band practice sober.
I always be cracking beers like we all would be, and then when it came down to like something important, like, all right, guys, let's not drink this practice. Like, oh, this is the most productive we've ever been. I wonder why.
Yeah.
What was the variable here?
No IPAs. That was the.
Yeah.
You know what else is also better sober? Driving. I realize the lines do stay straight.
I was just going through a Reddit thing, and it's off camera now, but there's like that racing simulator over there. Mm-hmm. Somebody on Reddit put together like their stats on different tracks by how many beers they had and what their time was. Yeah. And it was 3 beers is where like he just hit the wall. Probably literally in the game as well, but yeah, it was adding like crazy amounts of time and going way slower. But yeah, I can definitely see the driving.
Let's get back. Let's rewind a little bit and talk more about like booking shows and artists interacting with booking, and but from the other point of view, like Broccoli Samurai's booking festivals instead of like you bringing bands in, you going out there. Was that mostly from the bands you booked? Throwing them or throwing your name in there?
That's how it started. We
one of the big goals of like the bands that we talk to here is to like play festivals in the summer and like bigger audiences and so
What's the secret?
You start with $2 million to make $1 million.
Working on it.
It's at South Park Phase 1 and then Phase 3. Dude, no, it's with again just connecting with those bands like The Works. They come play up at the Beachland, and we'd open up for them, and they started putting on the workout, and they put us on. always call it like the nosebleed, set. Doesn't matter, put us on at 1 p.m. I don't care. We're just happy to be on the bill. And it's that hardest thing too of like, trying to make money, just to like, are we making enough gas money at least to get there? I get it, man. Like I get it. We went through those phases too, where you're almost losing money to get your name out there. But yeah, was piggybacking off, these other bands we started playing with, the Works, Pigeons playing ping pong. There's probably a ton more I can't even really think of at the top of my head right now. But Nelson Ledges too was another really big one. See a lot of those guys come up to the Beachland and just kind of rubbing shoulders, put us on the 1 p.m. time slot. Doesn't matter, just put us on, and we show up and we brought our A game, and we brought people and we had fun and we were personable. And then the next year we got the 5 p.m. slot, and then all of a sudden we're our time slots are changing. It took a lot of years and time, but I still can't believe that we got to grace the stage out at like Electric Forest, and Peach Music Festival. We got to play some really top tier. I mean, the Workout is a top tier, in my eyes, festival as well. But it's just amazing. But at that point, we started working with a booking agency, and they know the people to talk to the people that have your people call my people.
Yeah.
Cool. Booking agencies, how does it work paying them? Do they get a percentage or do you pay them a flat fee?
You pay them? Oh, shit. That's why my phone keeps on going off. It's some vary all over the place, 10-15% of what you're making on a show. Honestly, the biggest thing that you're ever going to get from this point is merchandise. This is another solid thing you gotta get. Right, it helped us out so much. The T-shirts, the stickers, the lighters, the hats. I mean, you name it. And it's cool because you're helping to build a community of your music. I mean, it's weird to also think of music as a product too, and like this business. It's why it gets really difficult. It really does. But again, that's why I like kind of going back to the roots here with Space Gorilla. This is not a show piece. It's not I'm gonna go out and go make a shitload of money. I'm just making music again to make music again, and like that's there's no better feeling than that.
That attitude shows in the music. Really honest.
Mm-hmm. Because at some point, when you're out there playing with all these, like you hear those, like you'll see a guitarist just like hit some lick. You're like, man, I'm gonna one up that dude on this next track, Or like I see somebody playing keys and I'm like, oh my god, that tone, what the hell is he doing, dude? And it's cool, you learn a lot, but I took it inwardly as like this ego thing where I always wanted to be better, I wanted to be the best, and it's just really for me, it's my view is it's not a way to live life,
Yeah.
I don't need to be the best. The older I get, the more I realize I don't know. I'm okay to say that now.
Yeah. I had that same problem for years. I think like one of my later in life guitar teachers told me, like, don't try to be better than anyone else. Just try to be better than you were yesterday.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The competition is with yourself. Like,
That
have
was-
camaraderie with everyone else.
That was a huge mind shift for me, like realizing the truth in that simple statement.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like take some of your favorite songs too. Like like I started doing and realizing like how simple a lot of it is. A couple chord changes, and just like the emotion put into like one note can give me goosebumps. It's not noodling all over the place. It's not like all of these crazy effects. Granted, it sounds amazing. Don't get me wrong, but of course I'm still gonna try. Less is more, and it's just really about coming, I take that of my own life today. It's not like I give less in life, but I just try to stop overthinking the hell out of everything and just go back to, what feels natural, what feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best music is music that makes you feel good and like comes across organically, like in that you're not trying to force it to be something that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bunch of gibberish.
Might not have been.
No?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
If you want to hear some gibberish, go visit Chuck Kaminsky.
Yeah, do you want to play? You want to play over that?
Oh, sure, yeah. I'll
check this
play
out.
over the ad this time.
Yeah. So this is from Chuck Kaminsky, the Basement Trader. This is a Nashville Guitar Works guitar that Evan is borrowing here while Chuck is doing some setup or some repair work, right, on your Martin. So we have this Nashville Guitar Works. They're kind of like Fender knockoffs. Really great prices from Chuck out there in Paynesville. They've got acoustics, they've got electrics, they've got basses. It's all the Fender style stuff. Chuck also has a lot of used gear on his 2 reverb shops. One is all guitars and basses. The other one's like amps and accessories and things like that. Chuck Kaminsky, the Basement Trader. He also does setups and repairs, obviously, working on Evan's guitar there. Check him out on Reverb. It's Basement Trader, BASSMENTTRADER at Chuck Kaminsky. That was pretty smooth, Evan.
Smooth.
What was I playing right there?
I don't know.
What guitar is that?
I don't know what model it is.
Oh, did you mention that? I wasn't
Yeah.
listening. Okay.
Yeah, you were in your own world.
I was. Yeah, that
Welcome
was
back.
That happens
Thank
when
you.
you're playing Nashville Guitar Works stuff.
Yeah, real nice quality for the price.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, once he gives me my Martin back, I might get one of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might pick one up just as like a campfire guitar. You know,
Yeah,
where you're not
it's
worried about it.
A beater, yeah, brand new, $240.
Yeah. Great setup on it, as always, from Chuck.
You'll never get it. Every time you take a guitar to Chuck Kaminsky, it comes back sounding brand new.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
All right.
he's just actually giving you a real I'm losing money, but
Cool. Let's give a shout out to Jason Myers and Eric Sima doing their Neo Rocks on 88.7 WJCU.
On Monday nights,
9 to 11, 2 hours dedicated to Cleveland local music.
I'm going to be hitting the road some. I definitely need. I'm going to grab his card right now from over here because I got to talk about places to go visit on the road.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Go back a couple months ago for our conversation
Probably
with Jason.
somewhere in the 40s there.
Somewhere
early
in the
40s
40s.
episodes.
Yeah.
With Jason talking about like going through the old like Delta blues historic sites across the South, Roots of American Music. That's where it's at, man.
Yeah, if you check out his nonprofit rootsofamericanmusic.org to see what they're doing over there, getting music to kids that need it, that don't have the resources.
Yeah.
Let's also give a nod to Jones Drones.
Oh, CLE.
Jones Drones, yeah, CLE.
Oh, yeah, that
That's
one.
right, yeah.
that one. Russell Jones is the man. He's out there. He's teaching drone classes at university at Tiffin, correct?
Tiffin, yeah.
And he just helped me out with like I have my drone license, which is a pain in the ass to do. So if you need help with that, Russell can hook you up with some classes there. He helped me out with like pricing strategies for drone work, which was thanks so much, Russell. He does shoots for, he worked with the NBA All-Star game on TNT. He's selling prints that he's got of like Cleveland first thing in the morning and saving lives. The dude's just all over the place, man.
Yeah. Concert photography, too.
Concert photography.
Good, yeah. Check out his Instagram for all the amazing videos.
Yeah, he's got new stuff out like every day, pretty much. Some awesome videos out like
at
every
least a few
single
a
day.
week for sure.
Yeah, it's great content just to follow. It's nice seeing Cleveland sunrise,
Cool. Let's hold off on these last two.
Okay.
Cool. All right. We're sitting right. Go ahead.
I wish I would have known about this because believe it or not, I took some online courses for my drone license.
Yeah.
Right. I got it right to the end, and I was just like, they're like, go here to go take your test, and I was like,
Test.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
gotta go-
test.
They'll lock up all your stuff when you go in there. Like it's
Yeah.
at the pilot like license center.
So I took the drone out and just had fun. And
Okay.
the best part was I put the wrong rotors on it, so the thing just. I'm back at square one now. So.
Yeah, he does a lot of the like the first person view stuff, which I haven't done yet. Like the one that I have is more like just aerial photography type stuff. But yeah, he gets into that stuff where he races and does all that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's one
pretty
of the
cool.
most insane things to watch. Like they'll rent a warehouse and set up these, like turn the lights off, set up these tracks with like glow sticks and stuff. It's almost like
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
really
all the
cool.
and all the drones are like neon lit up too, and like it.
Zipping around. Yeah, it looks like some sci-fi movie from like the 80s.
Yeah,
You know, all the
things-
neon
these
flying everywhere.
Things go so fast, you never know, and like they just go by. And all of these, the fastest racers, they're all like 14 years old, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
They build all their own stuff,
Right.
you know. Yeah, so not worried about crashing a crazy expensive drone if you can rebuild it yourself.
Yeah.
You see the videos, I don't know if you guys are like the Burning Man, like how they did this last year. They did all of this like huge installation of all
Yeah.
these drones and like built like the man up just on drones all lit up and all these weird little like,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That,
like, man,
that
like-
same company just did one in Vegas. I'm into Formula One, and Formula One's coming to Vegas next year, so they did like some big preview of it, and they made like Formula One cars like out of all these lit up drones in the sky, and they're moving around like. Really cool shit. If you happen to see that from a distance and didn't know what was going on, you're like, all right, well, I guess the aliens are here. We're done.
Space Gorillas here.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you get Russell to set that up. Giant
Right, yeah.
space gorilla over your show.
Cool. Do you perform a lot as Space Gorilla?
You know, I've performed out once, and it was God, I think it was the summer of 2020. It was kind of like this little private little party that a couple friends had put on out in Little Italy.
Cool.
And you know, I don't know how to DJ. It's the best thing that's, I just don't know how to. But so I still kind of like figured a way out to sequence like some stems, and I brought a keyboard out to play a couple parts over. And so once this album does drop, I've got to figure out, well, now what, So there's that.
Cool. You thinking about like having a band for it, or other musicians, other instruments? You play any other instruments?
Yeah,
on 'em?
I used to play drums a little bit. I can noodle on a guitar, not like that really. I mean, it's more like, I know like the blues scale, right? The pentatonics,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I think that and what's that? House of the Rising Sun is the only song I think I know how to play on the guitar.
Cool. Classic.
Yeah, I think that's like most of everybody's first or only song. I took lessons for like 3 weeks.
What was your first song you ever learned?
Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You from Zeppelin, which actually was a really good one because it's got a lot of chords in there, so I learned a lot of chord
That was the
fingerings.
first song you learned on guitar. That's really impressive.
I know.
I just
Do you
that
finger
I
pick
wanted.
it too?
I wanted to. I played it with a pick, but like that's the song I heard it, and my grandpa had an old guitar in the closet, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to do this. Like that was the song that made me want to pick up a guitar and play it.
Jeez, mine was "Come as You Are," like the simplest little guitar line there is.
Still can't get it.
Yeah, that's the song that made me want to do it. And then like I was glad once I learned it because then I got to other songs. And I'm like, oh, I know this chord. This is in that
Yeah,
song.
yeah. Cool. Oh, that just reminded. Wait, is tomorrow Wednesday?
Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday.
I have a guitar lesson.
No, wait, tomorrow's Monday.
Oh yeah.
Fourth wall is gone, man.
I'm teaching this girl Taylor Swift songs right now. Like for guitar lessons.
She's got like all top 10. She's got like the top 13 songs right now on the
Really?
charts.
Oh.
Yeah, she
I knew
released.
she had a new album. But
Yeah, she released an album like as all singles, and I think she has the top 13 songs on Billboard.
what does Billboard mean anymore, though?
I think it's streams. I think they go by streams. I'm not positive on that, but I think that's the case. But yeah, so she's like the first artist to do that, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Times aren't done changing.
she's got some serious fans there, man. I am having nothing but praise for Taylor Swift to not come after us. Good for her for getting 13 in the top 10. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to learn a few more then.
She did 130% on that one.
Yeah, you can't even say putting 110% anymore. Like, she just, like, upped the game.
130. I actually saw she did a music video, or she probably did a bunch of them for this, but she did one that was kind of cool. It was like her going through like all of her different fears that she has and like watching it from the outside. So that was kind of
Is
interesting.
that what the album's about? Like songs
The
and
one
stuff?
song is, I don't know the name of it. My wife put it on and she's like, there's all kinds of Easter eggs hidden in here. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to go down this. I have too many rabbit holes I've already gone down, but it was an all right video. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was all right.
Nice. I'm learning more about like going back to the fundamentals, like teaching these songs and these chords and like strum patterns. When you give lessons, you like take yourself back to like how do you do this at its most basic thing, and you like brush up on it a little yourself, like as you're speaking it out loud and like showing someone that doesn't know how to do it, and it improves your own game.
Absolutely.
Like, so much.
Oh, yeah, I can totally see that.
Teaching is great. Like I loved teaching, like coaching wrestling and then teaching MMA and stuff like that. Like especially if you're dealing with someone that's having a tough time grasping it, the way you're explaining it, and you have to change it, and it can change the way that you think about it too, and open it up more where you're like, oh, and that means this transitions to this, which I hadn't
I've
thought
never
of before.
said it out loud before, shown anybody. Just like, how did those wheels turn in my head? Let's break those down.
One
a
of my
little more.
favorite ones I had to teach, there's a wrestling move that's like, it's a high crotch, which like, it looks basic, but it's got this weird like swimming motion. And I was coaching like 7th and 8th graders, and like breaking it down into like 62 parts to do this move was not working. So I called it the awesome waiter, was the way I described this.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you have a waiter like that just goes like this, here's your food, like they're not great, and that's not a high crotch. But if they come in,
not a high crotch.
and if they come in and they reveal the dish, they take the lid off and they present it while they drop down like this, that's the awesome
High
waiter.
crotch.
We'll have to bring that up with the Holland Kings there. I
Yeah.
used to coach all those guys in wrestling.
Oh yeah, we're interviewing
back
a
when.
band at the end of December that he used to coach the kids in wrestling.
Oh, really?
I think I'm going to try and get the old wrestling singlet from our middle school, see if I can, because I'm still in touch with all the coaches, see if I can get one and wear that so I will be in a wrestling singlet possibly for that podcast.
And everyone go check out the Holland Kings. Great music.
Oh yeah, they got some awesome stuff. And if you happen to have like a VR setup, like an Oculus, they've got some cool VR videos up on YouTube where you're like in the middle of the band watching them all perform.
Yeah.
The what? You can do this stuff now.
Yeah, we're in the future times,
Oh,
man.
my
Yeah,
God.
they're like VR goggles, and you put this video on, and it's like you're in the middle of the room. Like you turn around and you see like the bass player playing, and it's like your view. Like there's the drummer.
Yeah,
like,
you're dead center of the room, and like
They're
the
playing.
4 members are around the outside.
Wow.
And you can turn them
It's good
on.
mu-
You can just
great
stare at them.
music,
It
too.
feels kind of weird at first. You're just like staring
Like
at this
waving
guy.
at him.
Hey,
Trying to
guys.
grab the pick. Keep on throwing money at him.
But it was very cool to check that out. And actually, that was when I got the Oculus and I went on YouTube for the first time. That was like the first recommended video was them.
Mine was
Really?
was snowboarding. Like it's like a snowboarder 360 camera, and like you're on the snowboard basically, and
Yeah.
like, you looking all around in the mountains. And
Yeah,
it's something else.
It's fun. It can make you nauseous, like if you dive into it too quickly. Like roller coaster ones will throw you off, or the Blue Angels. I don't know if you've seen the Blue Angels one.
No.
Dude,
I
those
don't
planes-
have one. I just like tried it out. with my
Planes are like
friends.
this close to each other.
How much do these things go for? How much is an Oculus?
I think they're like
300.
250 or 300, something like that. The problem that I have with them is it's like completely controlled by Facebook.
Oh,
So
okay.
that
So, yeah, it's not
sucks.
like you go buy like a PlayStation 5 game or something. This is like something you're streaming from.
You buy the games too, right?
You can do games, yeah, you can buy games and everything, but like you can't even get it to log in to turn on without putting in your Facebook password and everything. So you're like, God, Zuckerberg is tracking every single thing I do.
Yeah, I don't log out of mine because if I did, I don't know if I'd be able to get back in.
Yeah.
It's connected, yeah.
Yeah.
Send my password. But which email did I even sign up with?
Exactly. What's the password to that one? Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, playing golf on that is a lot of fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
Yeah, there's-
you're on a golf course.
It's great. Like you don't even have to leave your bedroom these days. I guess it's pretty.
Yeah, I
it's
mean, you
pretty
get everything
wild.
delivered to your door, and
I
then you're living
know.
in that virtual world.
Yeah.
Work from home.
Yeah, work from home. Yeah.
That's that. We're all gonna look like the dude in South Park in that World of Warcraft
Oh, yeah.
episode.
I was like,
I don't know
Carmen,
myself,
Mom,
Mark
bathroom.
We should do a whole episode just on South Park.
Yeah, I was actually thinking we need to. I was watching old like Saturday Night Live with Wayne's World, and they would do their top 10 lists. I'm like, we should do a Wayne's World. Like it's like we're in my basement.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a Wayne's World type thing. Well, we need a top 10 list.
Top 10
South
Ryan
Park
drunk
episodes.
moments.
Yeah.
That's it. We're gonna need like a week at least.
Well, that was a tangent we went off on.
Yeah. How about like top 10 like favorite bands you've played? The 10's a lot. But,
10 is
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like famous people you've got to play with, or even just meet, share the stage with.
You know, Lotus. Still to this day, I mean, I good friends, amazing musicians, like humble individuals. I mean, they inspired so much music. I mean, that I've
much,
created.
yeah.
I mean, you know, definitely got to throw them up there. Sharing the stage with you know, old Osric Tentacles. Like some people might know these guys. You know, I knew them like, you know, even before we hit stage with them, and I was like, I can't believe became good friends with them. I remember we played a show out in like I think we were out in Boulder, Colorado, and a couple of the members came out to the show to come check us out, and like I was like humbled. Like I'm like, they invited us back to their house. We had a lot of fun that night. You know, some of the festivals too. I mean, you know, playing with like String Cheese Incident. You know, that was
Nice.
you know, I never actually like, you know, opened for them, but like still I was like, I just stood on the same stage that they were on, dude. And then the funniest moment, like when we're at Peach Festival, you know, I grew up listening to like, you know, went from like Pink Floyd, then I had like this whole like kind of like industrial, like Nine Inch Nails from like KMFDM, went through this phase of that into electronica, and then like kind of bottled back out into Fish, which is such a weird progression, but you know, it's just how it is. You know, it's whatever. But we're playing at Peach Festival, and we just finished our set, and we're backstage. We're hanging out with the guys from Dopapod. We're eating food, telling stories, having a whole bunch of fun. And all of a sudden, you know, the storm's coming in. They're like canceling all the music, and so we're like getting ready to go walk, you know, just to go get some shelter. And all of a sudden, I see Trey Anastasios walking right at me. Oh. Right, and it was a complete Wayne's World moment. I'm sitting there like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I like turned and I looked up again, and then he went a different way, so I didn't get that opportunity. But for that real Wayne's World moment, I could tell you guys a funny story. If you're familiar with the New Deal, you might know that. It's like
I've seen that name. I'm not sure their style or the people.
It's like it was like how Broccoli started. It was a 3-piece, keys, bass, and drums, like live electronica, and their keyboardist Jamie Shields. I used to always say WWJS, you know, Jamie Shields, you know, so I'm trying. He wouldn't hit that note. So went out to Pittsburgh one time with my ex-girlfriend Amanda, and we go see the New Deal play, and it's after the show, you know, buying merch, and all of a sudden there's Jamie Shields, and I forgot how to just be a human, you know. I dropped everything on the floor. I picked something else up, and I'm fumbling with words. And thank God she stood up and she's like, "This is Ryan. He really is a big fan of you." I'm like, "Thanks, ma'am. Sign my shirt." And then you know, there we are, like a month or two later, opening up for those guys, and got to play numerous amounts of shows with them as well. Cool. So I got to throw them on that bucket list of like, I mean, I could keep on going, but yeah, I truly blessed.
You ever have a Wayne's World moment where you met like an artist and you were just like starstruck, basically?
I don't think so, man.
I saw Tony Iommi from Sabbath at Tower City. Like, and Sabbath was in town, and I was actually there to pick up tickets that my buddy won on the radio. Like, I heard him on the radio call, and I was like working and driving around. It was like part of my job. So like, I drove straight to his house. He got 2 tickets. I'm gonna be the first one there, you know. So like, went down. I'm like, hey, let's go get those tickets. I'll pick you up. You know. So we went down there, and I'm looking at the tickets. Like, holy cow, we got like 3rd row, and it was Sabbath's reunion. They hadn't played with Ozzy in forever. And he's like, hey, look at this weirdo. And I look up, and it's like Tony Iommi. I just went up, I'm like, dude, that's the guitar player from Sabbath. And I remember like shaking his hand and like thinking to myself, like, that's his hand that's kind of got nub fingers, which is like what ended up making heavy metal be a thing. Like, that's the hand that made heavy metal. So like, yeah, like I got done with that, and like Rob, who I was with, like he didn't know nothing about that. So like I went to one of my other buddies' houses. It's like way into Sabbath. I'm like, dude, shake my hand, shake my hand right now. He's like, why would you? He's thinking I did something gross. You know? I'll tell you afterwards, it's not bad. Smell the glove.
I haven't really met anyone like famous that like got knocked me off my feet just like being in their presence, but like musician wise, like how it influenced and like how I aspire to play. You mentioned Dopapod, Rob Compa from Dopapod, like seeing him and like being in the same room with him. I never played with him, but I did some Zoom lessons with him, and it was hard to stay focused a little bit, you know, 'cause I'm just asking him questions, like I'm asking you questions, you know. I mean, oh yeah, we're learning guitar, let's do this, and then
what's on your rider?
I also learned how far behind I am to like that level. That's just astronomical, like skill level, but still got a lot of good technique out of that.
I've got other funny ones. We were playing a show in Chicago. Was it the Ridiculousness show? Chanel West Coast, right? Isn't Chanel West Coast? Is that you guys know what I'm talking about? Ridiculousness?
Nah.
All right, at least, all right.
Did we just hear
I
about
didn't know what
Ridiculousness from
Oculus
Lillier?
was.
Yeah, Lillier
You just
got
had
a
a
song
band
in
in
there.
here, they licensed a song from.
Yeah.
She was playing next door, and so like after the show, I'm rocked off my knocker, and I'm hitting on her like there's no tomorrow, and making an ass out of myself. I think I'm like totally like up, you know, I'm like, oh, she's totally in. Meanwhile, our security guards are carrying me out, packing out. I don't know what happened, but cool story though. Even with the Back to the Beachland Ballroom, because like, you know, I again got to meet a lot of other musicians that like truly blessed, and two of my favorites, Snarky Puppy, booking one of their first shows in Cleveland in the Beachland Tavern of all places.
Wow.
That small little room was I'm surprised.
The whole full band?
Yeah, and that room was hopping. It was a really special night. But going even further back from that, Sufjan Stevens. We had booked him to play at Masonic Temple, and you know, I did a whole bunch of work for the show. All of a sudden, you know, it's the day of show. I'm picking, you know, his laundry up. I'm washing his dirty britches, and you know, helping him out. You know, like really putting my work in for the show, man. And then like later in the night, like I took another one of the members out to go pick up. He's all excited, found a bike like on like Craigslist or something, and he's like, yeah, just take me right here. I'm like, dude, that's the Hood. And I bet you that's not their bike, but yeah, let's go. So we bought a bike. But then later that night, you know, I was told, hey, go pick up Sufjan from his hotel. So I pick him up, bring him to the show, and it's really cool to have like one-on-one time. You know, sometimes you meet some of these huge, you know, musicians. It's like, you know, what do I say? I don't want to look like I'm a nerd or anything, like whatever. So I'm just, you know, we're talking just like this, just shooting the shit, and then, you know, finally I just got to that one moment. I'm like, hey man, I just got to be honest. Like, you know, your album, Chicago, really, or Illinois, the song Chicago, like it meant, like that song means so much to me, because the time that I heard that, it's like I was going through that same shit. I'm like, dude, did you know who I was? Because that song's about me. Do I get some royalties or like, you know? But dude, he was super cool about it. He wasn't even like weird, you know, and it was awesome. So we talked about it, and he told me the experience like that he went through in writing that song when he was going through college, yada yada. And and I told him, my story about like what I was going through at that time too, and he thought it was really like, it's cool. It is like being a musician when somebody's like, that's the beauty of music. We can connect, and that's what this is all about,
Yeah.
And either way, later that night, they play their set, and I finally got like a few minutes to kind of, when you're working a show, it's hard to really, sit and watch the whole thing, and they get up and start doing their encore, and he gave me a little quick shout out, and he's like, hey, met this guy Ryan, blah blah blah, we're gonna play the song, and I just, it's one of those moments that like, man, you're just like, I like so grateful to be alive. Like was that culminating moment of like, holy shit, from that moment of literally sitting in my car crying listening to that song to feeling like so happy to be alive, watching that artist perform that song. And
That's awesome.
yeah.
I have a friend
Nice.
that had like the opposite type of story.
Oh.
It went humorous when he asked. It was a tribute band he went and saw, but guy went and saw a Queen tribute band for his anniversary with his wife, and he went up and talked to the band beforehand. He's like, "Hey, when you guys do, you're my best friend. Can you dedicate that to Sandy from Jeff?" And they're like, "Yeah, cool." So like he's all ready. I got to find video of this too because he got the camera out and everything was all ready to go. And they're like, this next number's going out to Jeff and Sandy, or going out to Sandy from Jeff. Congratulations on your anniversary. Bicycle, I want to ride my bicycle. I'm like, were you cracking up? He's like, I was kind of pissed, but then later on I was cracking up because like they were just fucking with him apparently. I gotta find that video though. Actually,
It sounded like they were fucking with him.
that guy's-
It's not a mistake.
That guy's son, Ryan Bernard, the guitar player that pops up with you guys up at Fishbowl.
yeah.
His dad is the one that was in that
Oh,
story.
cool.
Yeah, I used to work with his dad for years.
I'm in a group chat with him for that jam night we do in Painesville every Thursday, and he went to Amsterdam recently.
I saw that. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
And he came back.
Is he
I
back
think
now?
so. I don't know if he's still there or not.
I mean,
Yeah. He's lost in an opium den somewhere.
Hey,
like, where is he? I
Well,
need
most
some
of the stuff he
opium.
was saying was about how this is so much more actual freedom than America says is freedom.
Yep.
Which leads me to a sore subject.
The segue. We're gonna segue to that.
So our listeners have been hearing for about 6 months
yeah.
about how for season 3, just in a few months we're starting, it'll be just me, and Chuck's moving to Italy,
Yeah.
to Rome, Italy.
Yeah.
Want to give an update on that?
Yeah, that's gone. So things changed in the world, and we were going for an opportunity for my wife's work, and basically like the way things are going right now, I think it's they want us to just work on traveling rather than being located in Italy. So we're going to be staying here in Cleveland. I'll be continuing as co-host here, which would be nice. But we'll still be doing traveling. Like just today, she found out like, oh, we're going to New York City, and then we're going to Spain for a while, and then we're going to Austin and Orlando and Las Vegas. Found all that out like earlier this morning.
These are like all the best cities to go to, man.
Yeah,
Joe
so-
was telling-
Terrible trade.
Yeah, so I have nothing to complain about. Although
Although
I'm
you did give a bunch of your shit away. 'cause
I
you
gave
thought you were
away.
moving.
I'm actually kind of happy about that though. Like I had too much shit. You just accumulate that as you get older, you know.
I feel that.
So I gave away a lot of shit. I'm actually leaving in the morning for Italy, and this is going to be kind of a bittersweet trip because we had it scheduled already. This was to go make sure our apartment was
Yeah.
what they said it was. So we're not. We changed our place we're staying at, so we're not staying in the factory of sadness over there. But yeah, still going to Italy to check it out. But we'll be traveling a lot. But
We're recording a day early because of your flight. We're usually
Yeah.
here on Wednesdays.
yeah, we had to reschedule. Thanks so much for being able to.
I
reschedule.
didn't even know, so
Perfect.
now I'm disappointed. I really
think
wanted
we
to
had,
come.
We had
to
already made it to yeah.
Yeah.
Funny story. We just recorded with the Morning Bird
Yeah.
before this, and he had sent us a message like, "Hey, we're still on for Wednesday, right?" I look back in our conversation. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm thinking we're still on," but I hadn't replied yet. And when I go to reply to him, I look back at our conversation, And that's when I'm reminded, oh shit, we're doing it on Tuesday this week. So like he forgot to write it down. I forgot to write it down. And I had band practice scheduled for tonight because we're like going into the studio at the beginning of December. Luckily, everybody, like, praise God or whoever, like everyone was available to just switch it to tomorrow, which never works. Holy crap.
Yeah.
There's five of us.
Dude,
and like everyone can just, well, we can do it tomorrow. It's cool.
Usually, like, you cancel a band practice, it's like, I'll see you next month then.
Right.
You know, it's like, it just
Right.
throws the rest of the month off, even though it's like standard, like, oh, every Tuesday we're meeting at this time. It just throws it off.
It's got to be a great part of being a solo project.
Yeah, I know.
Practice is when you say it is, and you should be able to schedule that.
I call in a lot, you know, bed, you know, got in the way. Sorry, Ryan.
Ryan, you're making up a lie to yourself. I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. Something came up.
I'm sick, Deeds.
I got the Rona.
I got the Rona.
Got the Rona.
Let's give a shout out to some lighting people that
Okay.
you might know. Brian Klamanik and his wife Emily of Enlightenment Event Lighting, the owner and light designers of Enlightenment Event Lighting. Do I always fumble those words?
Yes.
Yeah, always, every single
That's
time.
why I
Yeah.
always say the 9 mood-based podcasts.
Well, you can go next.
Okay.
Cool. Check out their Instagram, their Facebook, their YouTube channel. They've got another YouTube channel about when they were traveling with their tiny home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I
really,
didn't
really
know that.
cool.
I'll have to check that out. I check a lot of those ones out, like people doing van
yeah.
life and stuff.
Yeah, they built a little tiny home out of a trailer, and then they made boxes to fit all their lighting equipment in the back of the truck, and like that was their house, and they lit up places all over the country for
Oh,
like
that
a
is-
year and a half before
Wow.
like coming back.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
And tiny home festivals too.
We're selling both our cars and going to get a 4Runner and put a rooftop tent on it for traveling all over the country.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice. Cool.
So,
Ditching planes.
Oh, we're going to do planes sometimes, especially like if we're going somewhere, in the north and it's winter.
You're
you
not
know.
driving to Spain, are you?
No. It's need one of those amphibious vehicles. But yeah, we're getting a rooftop tent and going to try that out for a while. And might end up switching up to a trailer if it's we want to be more comfortable. But
Cool.
that's very cool. Listen, CLE is also very cool. They've got 9 mood-based playlists, not genre-based, mood-based, of Northeast Ohio groups. We got What Is Love, Groove, Energy Boost, Chill, Feel Good, Misery Loves Company, Rock Out, Night Driving, and Acoustic Cuts.
Nice.
Did you think
memory,
you had that
man.
one? You look like
Nice
you were about to
memory.
say it. Oh, yeah, I got a great memory.
Well, it sounded like you were gonna forget Acoustic Cuts, and I was ready to pounce in on that. But yeah, check out links
that
to all
your
those.
Mac?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of Mac in there.
Was
I've
it,
been enjoying
Crow
their
Milk?
podcasts.
It's a great podcast. Yeah, have you seen that? The Always Sunny. If you're a fan
yeah,
of Always
yeah,
Sunny,
yeah, oh,
they
yeah,
have the
yeah.
podcast. It's great.
Check it out.
Although they've been going off the rails a little bit with some of these episodes. I liked when they were like going over each episode, and
Yeah.
bullshitting behind it.
Yeah, now they've turned into the show
Yeah.
as the podcast. Just going off the rails there. But Listen CLE also has the database for artists, which works like a big EPK, sharing with venues. You put what your setup is, what kind of genre you do, what your stage situation is, and what your needs are. We've had a number of artists come in here and say they've gotten gigs from directly from.
It's absolutely free to sign up. You go to listencle.com, click on the link to submit or to the directory. Really self-explanatory, and you'll get right on the list.
Yeah.
They will also take your songs too, and they've actually taken some Space Gorilla songs and put it on a couple of the different channels, or the different moods, I should say.
Yeah.
It's a great project.
Yeah, when
great
we
project.
first were, I think, episode 10 or 11, we talked to them. So yeah, go check out one of their earlier episodes for more information. I remember when you first were listening to them, You mentioned you liked the Space Gorilla stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, we got this one. Yeah, yeah, and I noticed that was the first time that I had heard your stuff too. I knew you were doing it, but I never had listened to it until I got to these playlists.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's great to like get exposed to bands that, you know, we hear about plenty of bands because we always ask people to recommend other groups, but yeah, listen to CLE is a great place to pick it up.
That's right. Well, that about does it for our sponsors.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be a sponsor, just get a hold of us and we'll plug your stuff.
Yeah.
You just give us a hat or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Stickers. I like the stickers on the table. I kind of like that going
I
on.
do like that too.
Stickers are
You
pretty
bring any
cool.
merch with you?
Yeah, no.
I'm actually for this trip. I'm bringing along. I know I got a Sublets T-shirt. I'm gonna get
Did you
picture.
get that
of.
Angie Hayes
Yes.
t-shirt?
Yeah. So I have both of those packed. So those are like the two that I have. I'll probably bring my Lava Brothers hat too, and like get some famous landmarks there. You know, like for the Coliseum, like representing Cleveland on the other side of the world a little bit. So yeah,
Nice.
I've got my photo op Cleveland gear. So
Cool. Well,
well,
we still got time.
yeah. What you want to talk about?
Let's talk more about Ryan.
All right.
All right.
Bruce.
Where is he? Oh,
Come on, man.
Cool. What's your favorite place to eat?
Oh man, well, let's just kind of go what I did this weekend, man. I went out to I've never really gone out to the flats or anything like that. I went to, I think it's like Jaja, I don't know, it's some JAJA. This restaurant. It took like a week to get in there.
Ha-ha.
We had a whole list. Yeah, ha-ha. Gotcha.
It's like greet you at the door. Ha-ha.
I'm singing Ja Ja a lot in the songs with Carlos Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great, good food, great vibes, man. Been realizing like it's kind of cool. A lot of these restaurants they have like a DJ kind of just setting the vibe out at these restaurants. It's actually pretty neat. I don't know.
Well, what kind of food is it?
The best thing I got, man, was like it was this date wrapped in prosciutto and then like slow cooked. I don't know, in like maple syrup or some shit. Right. I'm
My
pretty
mouth
sure.
just watered.
I saw Jesus when I put it in my mouth.
We're just going to cut
praying.
that into a clip. Right
I saw Jesus when I put that in my mouth.
you got yeah.
Yep. It's out there.
It's out there. We weren't going to talk about nuts, but here we are.
Oh, I already decided that I am opening the show with, hey, let's restart this. I don't want to start talking about nut sex. That's
Or
definitely how we're
butt sumo.
starting.
Butt sumo.
Butt sumo. Yeah, butt sumo. I listened back to that one. That one got rough.
I was laughing out loud in my car. Everyone check out the Myth and Company podcast from just a couple weeks ago, because you got to get into like the 40, 50-minute mark. I know you guys all turn it off after like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it gets silly.
So, yeah, oh yeah. Just laugh out loud.
Those guys they're a blast, man. Myth and Company, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down having some conversations with Cody at a couple of shows, and be like 30 minutes later, I'm like, I don't even know how we started talking about God knows what, and like,
Yeah.
dude's out there. He's a
I love
good
his
person.
playing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Among the Willows? Have you heard of those guys?
I have not.
Okay. Well,
Well, I've heard of them as
They're
of today.
really old school, like Texas blues kind
Yeah.
of band, and his brothers are in it. One plays bass, the other is a singer/drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a three-piece, and then their guitarist John is just
Killer.
Stevie Ray Vaughan reincarnation.
Yeah. Playing vintage strats through super reverbs.
Yeah.
Just tone for days.
Yeah, Among the Willows, one of the most underrated bands in Cleveland right now.
All right, yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's weird. Like I kind of like after the Beachland and after COVID, I've kind of like not even intentionally kind of like disassociated from the local scene, and I'm just starting to kind of get back into it a little bit and like.
Well, it got shook up. Like everyone with momentum
Yeah.
lost it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
and new groups emerged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here comes the next wave, man.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
My favorite one right now is Camel Butter.
Camel Butter is great. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Great band name too, man.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, it's on the Broccoli Samurai tier of good
Yeah,
bands.
yeah, it works great. Their merch too. They had the
Oh, yeah.
camel and a stick of butter on the hat.
I used to always love like we got written up for like best band name in use and like worst band name in use, right? And like we get interviewed, and I'd be like, well, by the way, we make music too, in case if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Camel Butter is a great,
Yeah.
great.
Slice open the hump and drink all the butter.
Right off the sword.
Right off the sword. I used to always love doing the pigeons playing ping pong and Broccoli Sam. I remember like again before people even knew who the hell we were, and like both bands, and like people come to like, what the hell's going on in there tonight? Like,
I think pigeons playing ping pong. Didn't that come from like training they were doing with pigeons in the military? Like where they were training them to tap things, and they were using it for a missile guiding system.
yeah.
Back in the day, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
See, Broccoli Samurai was that. You know what? Actually, you were talking to about Saturday Night Live earlier.
Chopping broccoli.
Broccoli.
I had a feeling.
There's actually been like maybe 3 people in my life that as soon as they heard it, they immediately knew where it came from. I'm like, all right, kudos.
I got to give you some credit for like helping me get to the next level of my guitar playing. About 7 or 8 years ago, I think you guys were looking for a new guitar player.
Oh yes, we
And
were.
yeah, I was on tour with a pop punk band, and when I came home, I was gonna like audition with you for you guys, and so I'm like going from like playing like the simplest stuff ever, or like just playing indie rock, and then I loved the kind of music, and I thought I had what it takes to play that kind of stuff, and like when I started diving in, I think I never worked so hard on like playing music since like when I was doing classical guitar in college, and like a lot of the techniques, because there was a lot of John's playing, right? That I was listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never played like that before, and now like I still use all those techniques in like every style.
Dude,
of music I
John is
play
a
now.
G, man. But I remember that. I really like when we did that up at the ballroom.
Oh yeah, we did it on the
And-
Beachland Ballroom stage. the
like
audition,
we
yeah.
sent a couple songs out, and it's like or like we had a couple renditions, and you came in like you knew the songs better than I did, and I'm like, shit, dude. Wait, what part is that? Like, that is in the song. That's right.
Yeah, some of the songs you sent me weren't on an album. It was like on one of your live shows when Mike Miller was filling in too, and so I was like learning from the way he was.
White
playing
Ranger,
too.
I think it
Yeah.
might have, yeah. That was such a fun song to play. Oh man, the story behind that song. John wrote it, like John wrote this song, White Ranger, right? And how do I tell this story in like a piece? Oh, whatever. We played a show, and we played it out for the first couple times. We're out in like Washington D.C. and like before we even load in, this guy is like, he's just, he's setting up his art, and all these like little weird like things that he had brought with, and just set up his little corner of him, which is kind of expected a lot of shows, and super nice guy. He comes up, tries to, you guys want some LSD? And I'm like, nah, dude, we're cool. I'm cool, man. Thank you, though.
Maybe later.
And, he proceeded to, eat more than, humanly, any human probably should. We melt the show off, and we play like a two-hour set or something. And end of the night, we're all like, packing our gear up, we're putting it out, and he's floating out there with Space Gorilla somewhere, and we see him at the end of the night, and he was just out there, and like he was saying all this crazy stuff, and then he goes to get into his car, and we're like, bro, maybe you shouldn't be driving, like we can give you a ride somewhere. He's like, I got it. And he gets in his truck, which was a White Ranger, and then like he pulls off, and all of his artwork flies out of the back of his truck. There's like things flying everywhere, and we're like, oh my god. We're like, dude, and like then he realizes like he realizes like at that moment I'm a human, and I'm on planet Earth. These people can see me, and he like looks at us, and we look at him, and like and then he just revs his engine, and like headlights coming right for us. We're like, holy shit! And like so we like jump out of the way, and then he realizes like, oh my god, I think I'm high, and like. Then he just floors it out of the parking lot, jumps this curb. Then more artwork's flying out of the bed of his truck, and then off into the midnight, man. And that's the last time we saw him. And so we named the song for him, the White Ranger, man. And the best part that I'll just go ahead and put so when we play a lot of these shows, and I'd always try to find the person that was kind of like the White Ranger that night. And we remember the song a little bit. We start doing that little build up, like dun 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 dun. And we'd all cut out, and I'd go on a vocoder and be like, "It's the White Ranger," right? And that's what I say in the vocoder. But we'd all try to find that one dude that was like, like riding that, like floating out there with Space Gorilla. We point him out, like we'd all look at him at that right moment, like, almost like the light would come on his face and be like, "Fuck, how do they know?" You gotta have some fun while you're out there. But
Yeah, and then you guys went through like a stylistic transition when you picked up the Acid Cats guys, right?
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Like seeing like the same bands with like this different tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was so cool. I remember first time I saw that lineup, I drove down to Columbus, and at Woodlands Tavern, they made like a huge stage outside for Pigeons, and then there you guys played the Rick and Morty theme song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys were good at that. So you guys do like the Trailer Park Boys theme song too.
Oh man. I'll never forget the workout on that one. It was like fucking like 100 some degree, and it was just perfect. Like Gus just like floating in the air. Like
it was
like,
an
all
early
right,
slot
fuck
too,
it, we
right?
gotta get up and go watch this.
And then like maybe your claim to fame is that Mario Kart video.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh man, that was we're just over at we used to practice at Josh the bassist's his parents' house, and they just moved into this house, and so there's nothing in the house, right? And so we take the basement over, because that's where bands always go. It's a basement, man. It's the best place, right?
Yeah.
And
basement trader.
Place to be.
And we just started, we're like came up with the idea. Oh, it'd be cool to like, we always try to think of a good song to cover, right? What's nobody else thought of, or what's fun to play, or whatever, and like go with that. And we come up with the idea like, oh, it'd be really cool if like, we asked Josh's brother, we'd sit down, play Mario Kart, and like. Mm-hmm. We're gonna play the music behind you, and that's what we started doing. And somebody's like, dude, we should capture this on camera. We were like fucking spot on with it, right?
Was it Luigi Raceway?
Yeah. And we made like a 40-second snippet video, and like, so he's like, yeah, do this. Like, I think Josh's brother, we put it up on YouTube after, and we thought it was funny, like. Couple of homeboys will find it's fun. And the next morning, wake up, phone's just like bing, 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 bing. And like overnight, like, we went from like 11 views to like, 40,000. And then like, we played it like, it's like it wasn't a hookahville, but it was like one of the Hoopla on the Hills. So we go play out there. And I think that year was when everybody called it Supla. I can't even remember. All the years kind of blend together. And, we're getting on stage. There's like 80,000 views. We get off. There's like 150, and this is all like within 24 hours, man. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like, we got hit up by a couple of different companies, to pick up the rights to. And we said, fuck it, So we did. We got paid like a decent little chunk of change from that little video, and yeah. Nice. That's cool. History's it's always funny, when everybody's like, I get asked that question, what's something about you that nobody knows, or like that's interesting, and it's usually something I lead with, like
So who said we should capture this on video?
I don't know.
Was it his brother, or his brother put it up on YouTube?
His brother put it up on, I think it might have been Josh, or somebody said, capture this on, It's one of those hazy days, where somebody had the idea.
Cool. Well, man, it's been really fun catching up. Good to see you
Dude,
again.
you too. Yeah.
Cool. You got any other local bands or artists that are on your radar right now? I know you said you kind of disassociated, but have you? Is there any that you?
Shoreline, definitely, because Chris Walker, Broccoli Samurai drummer. I started playing with Shoreline, and man, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They are really good, man. I super impressed, and then I always got to throw the homies Vibe and Direct out there again, man. I'm so happy to see those boys are back out there playing again. Chris is also playing. Chris is like the staple drummer now.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I also want to throw out that, the Space Grill album, Path to the Sun, I've got the masters back, I've got the artwork back, and the beauty of, again, just like this is the passion project. I was going to drop it in October so I could have something you guys can listen to, but, the fun thing of this music industry is, we go by the year. So if next year would have been old news, so I've decided I'm just going to wait till January to drop the album. So it'll be, new for a year.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
But yeah, look for that. It should be probably the second, third week of January. It'll be coming out. You can follow it on band pages on Facebook. I got Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff, man. So
Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
The final question?
Yeah, anything else you want to throw out there?
Anything else that I want to throw out there? Man, these existential questions.
Specific.
Love is the answer.
All right.
That's it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So we always finish off with looking for a recommendation for either like a movie, TV show, or YouTube channel or thing we should be watching.
Oh, man. Dude, I watch like so many movies and TV shows, and like you get asked that question, it's like, do I own a TV?
What is this thing you're talking about?
Yeah, what is this box you're talking about? We were talking a little bit about the just recently started kind of watching the show called Manifest on Netflix, and like I'm maybe like the second episode into it, but like the first, like it kind of like it sucked me in right off the rip, man. It was kind of has a cool little idea, but we'll see where it goes. It's been pretty good, and I'm at least
Where can we find that?
Netflix.
Oh, you said that.
And then I'm waiting for
It's coffee, man.
10 years now, so I had Avatar 2 that's coming out. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Oh, all right.
So
My wife just went back and watched the original. They had it in IMAX like a month ago, so she had to go check that out.
Cool.
Getting ready for the new one.
Where's the IMAX screen around here?
That's a good question. I think it was Westlake. Yeah, I think there's one in Westlake because I went there and saw the rooftop concert from Get Back. They did an IMAX.
Wow.
I went and checked that out. That was pretty cool.
Cool. You got any other recommendations this week for?
Yeah, actually, we were talking in our last podcast about talking about the 1967 50th anniversary show. Made me think there's a channel called Yesterday's Papers, and it's all going back through month by month album reviews that were in the British press from so now the November one's out, November 67. All the albums that came out that were like all these psychedelic albums, and there was stuff. There was one in there. It was like Andy Summers' band, and who went on to be in the Police later on. But it was like some psychedelic band, and he was reviewing albums and everything. That was pretty cool.
Nice. Cool.
How about you?
Love, Death, and Robots has a new season. If you've never seen that, it's on Netflix. It's a bunch of shorts, really, some live action, but mostly different styles of animation from episode to episode. They range from like 6 to 14 minutes, I'd say. And they all, almost all of them are fantasy or futuristic. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, death, and robots.
And robots.
Yeah.
Is there a period, or do they just keep it open at the end?
It's not a sentence, so they don't need a period.
Okay. just a lot of commas, though.
Yeah, they got that Oxford one
That's
thrown in
on
there,
Netflix.
man.
Then there's a whole first season that's good too. So yeah.
All right. Well, now we know everything.
Cool. And if you still haven't watched Arrested Development, go watch that.
Yeah, go watch it.
I've actually watched it like 3 times, and it's like Seinfeld in a way where I watch 3 episodes, I love it, and I wake up a season later,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go back, just keep on going on.
Yeah. The more I'm watching The Simpsons because it's on Disney Plus, and
Those early episodes are fantastic,
Dude,
man.
yeah.
I grew up on Family Guy more than The Simpsons. It was that was like my generation, I guess. And I'm finding how much Family Guy actually stole from The Simpsons. It's a shitload.
Yeah, Simpsons did it,
Simpsons
man.
Simpsons already did it.
The Simpsons and the newest Treehouse of Horrors that just came out was really
good.
Yeah.
So let me ask you then, what's your like if you have to pick one Simpsons character?
Just off the top of my head, I'm just going Duff Man, just because I have a Duff Man costume and I like wearing it around. Yeah, that goes over great in Vegas. On Halloween, man.
For main character, I'll go Lisa. And
You really? So you aren't like going, oh, it's a Lisa episode?
no. I love Lisa episodes.
Lisa episodes.
And I think Lenny for side characters.
Yeah, Lenny is good. That's
Dude, Millhouse all day, man.
Millhouse. Everything's coming up. Millhouse. I say that daily, I think.
Millhouse is good. He's the Butters of
Exactly. Yeah, Butters, I think, of all characters, might be my favorite. I still walk around and I do my Butters voice. Oh, geez.
And, I guess Randy is my favorite from South Park. Yeah. Randy can't
Randy's
say
tough
one
to beat, man.
one thing without it being super hilarious.
I have a disease.
Watching the older South Parks, though, when he was just a dad.
Yeah.
It was weird
Yeah.
going back and watching those, because then he becomes Randy.
And like Super Randy. They got the pot farm and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. They just took it to another level. Integrity.
Well, we could go for another hour on
We could.
cartoons.
Yeah, well, literally.
We'll do a cartoon episode.
Yeah.
Have me back. I'll,
Right, we'll have you back. We had another cartoony episode of this, didn't we?
Yeah, some are.
Yeah.
Cartoons are great. I told you that's what I want to be when I grow up, as a cartoon.
Right.
You know?
I always want to do the voiceovers. Like I wrote to Adult Swim probably like I don't know when I was 18 something like. They never got back.
Yeah.
So you know,
Space
I have a
Ghost Coast
resentment.
to
Yeah.
Coast.
How dare you? Yeah, Space.
I was just watching those. Rocko's
good.
Modern Life held up well. I think that's what we were talking about, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You ever get down C-Lab 2020?
I've watched it,
Essentially
a
one of them,
while ago.
Super out there. Yeah.
I got into that a little bit at when I was into Archer.
Yeah.
Because it was like kind of the same writer or something, or that was his first show, right? With C-Lab.
I didn't know that actually. Huh.
Yeah.
I saw something. Somebody got the health department called on them because they put a big Bob's Burgers sign and then the grand reopening for Halloween. And some Karen called into the health department that they opened up an illegal burger, illegal restaurant. They're like, dude, it's Halloween.
That one's good. That'll stand the test of
Oh,
time
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like for all age groups.
Yeah. All right. Cartoons.
Cartoons. Yeah. Oh, and your Bubbles impression. You said Butters, and I looked at you, and I just am thinking of that Halloween show you guys did where you were all dressed up as Trailer Park Boys.
Boys.
Decent.
Fucking decent.
That was a
Damn
good
Sam Squinch.
I see him out there, Bubbles. He took the bat.
All right, well, I know no one's listening anymore,
Yeah,
but
right,
anyway.
J to the ROC.
Cool. Yeah.
out.
Cool. Thanks for coming by again, man. It was awesome seeing you
Yeah,
again.
thanks for having me.
And for
Thank
Cuyahoga
you.
Sound
Bring me.
Podcast, I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
Peace.